Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kate Unfiltered. Oh my gosh, it is the new year. I can't believe that, like, there were so many things in 2024 that happened that I honestly, can't believe happened. And, for me, that goes through, my professional life, my personal life, just so many things that I was like, this is happening. All for the better, all for good. But one thing, I'll give an example for my professional life. So ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a doctor. First I wanted to be a vet, and then my aunt told me that, well, if you're a vet, you're gonna have to be with a lot of sick animals and things like that. And I was like, well, that sounds really sad. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll be a doctor for people instead of animals. And so that's kind of how it started as a little kid. But then it evolved into genuinely wanting to help people. And then I'll get into that maybe on a different episode about why I'm so passionate about being a doctor and helping people. But point being, I always wanted to be a doctor. And then I got into medical school, and it didn't feel real actually when I got in. And this was almost 3 years ago now, because I got in January, and then I didn't start until I started in the end of May, because my program started early because we are an engineering and medicine program. So we started early in May, and I was for honestly maybe almost a year and a half, I still couldn't believe I was in medical school. Especially the first 6 months, I was like, is this real? So yeah, point being, it took me a long time to be okay, I'm in medical school, I'm doing the thing. And it wasn't an imposter syndrome thing. It was more like a, whoa, this is really happening. It's not just a dream, if that makes sense. It's not a dream that's unattainable. It's my life, it's real, it's happening, and my dreams are coming true. Yeah, so, and I also think it took me a while to be yeah, I'm in med school now, because it felt so far away for so many years. I'm talking when I first decided I want to go to med school, I was living in Tokyo, so I must have been really little, maybe 9 or 10, and I didn't apply until I applied when I was 23. So 14 years ish of just feeling it was a faraway dream until I actually decided to apply. Even when I was taking the MCAT, I was like, well, I'll just take it, see what happens. I don't know if I'll actually get in. So anyway, point being, with 2024, there are some things in medical school, your first milestones, your first big milestones that you hit in the end of your second year and then starting your third year. And those are taking step 1, which is the first big board exam, standardized test. It's pass fail, and I took that this year and I passed it. And then the other big milestone, I feel is starting rotations. I did that this year, and I've completed 4 rotations so far. And I start my surgery rotation on Monday at the time of this recording. I think I'm gonna put this out today, but just in case, time of this recording, I start my surgery rotation on Monday in just a couple of days. And I'm just it's happening. I'm in the process of becoming a doctor, and especially starting rotations were such a big jump, because the first year and a half I spent, and every med school does a little bit differently. For my school, we spent about a year and a half, a little bit more than that, in the classroom learning all of the things. And so to go from classroom to then actually working with doctors and the resident physicians and nurses and PTs, and I learned about all the things PTs do. I was like, wow, that's really cool. They have such a wide scope. and like learn about how the hospital works and how it is for patients when things go well and how it is for patients when things aren't going so well, and just like what it's actually like to be a doctor. Because I also shadowed in the emergency room for a year, and then I worked with a hematologist oncologist for a summer. It was about a couple of months. But that was during COVID, so I didn't even go in. But I did like Zoom into every appointment and took notes for that lady. She was very, very sweet. A really, really great doctor. But like, so I had exposure to the medical field before starting medical school, which, so like, you know, and you definitely want that before starting medical school, because you want to make sure that this, sorry, one second. Made a little mistake. But you want to make sure that this is for you. So you do that. And then you get to medical school and you start your rotations, and it's just like, whoa, like, I don't know if I just forgot because it's been so long since I worked in a hospital setting, like with patients, or if it's just like different once you're actually, I'm not going to say actually participating in patient care, because I was doing all the notes and things like that. But once you're involved in the decision making, and I guess as a medical student, like, you're not really even involved in the decision making, but like, because like the resident and the attending, they ultimately make the decisions, but you are like, they do ask you about things, you are tracking patients, they do ask you like, okay, well, what might you do, you know, or what is XYZ? And so you're like, oh wow, this is a real human being that I am making decisions for, and it could impact their life, and I'm gonna take that really seriously because it's a real human being. So anyway, long story short, that's one thing of 2024 that I was like, wow, like this is really happening. Like, I'm gonna be a doctor. And I'm just like, whoa, that's cool. Yeah, so anyway, 2024 was wild. And going into 2025, I'm really excited because I have like, I just like never been more excited about life. I feel like also in 2024, I finally decided to stop putting so much stock into what people think and following where I feel that God is leading me. And one of those things is doing these YouTube videos. Like, honestly, this one right now, I actually recorded what was going to be this one yesterday, and I just like wasn't feeling it, and I was like, oh, well, should I even keep doing this? And maybe you're watching and you're like, Kate, this is silly, you should not do this. Or maybe you're watching and you're like, Kate, these are just like entertaining, so keep doing them. But whatever you think, I for now am gonna keep doing them. And I'm just like, I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna keep doing them, especially because I start surgery on Monday and I'm really excited about it, but I found out I'm working with some residents who just like have really high expectations, which is not a bad thing. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be busy, I'm gonna be on. So point being, I'm not gonna have like an abundance of time to pour into like these YouTube videos and my Instagram content and things like that. And so I've been really thinking about it over the past couple of days, and I'm like, I'm doing all of this for fun. Like, I don't have to make it stressful. And I think in the past I've made it so stressful for myself for no reason. Like I just said, I'm doing it for fun, but I feel like I've always kind of done that, where I've like put things on myself and made it stressful. And I don't know why I've done that, but that's something I've done in the past. So committing to not doing that anymore. And I'm really excited going into 2025, having that commitment to just being at peace with like, especially like the things that get done versus like the things that don't get done. but like not doing anything, if that makes sense. Like if I have like a big long to-do list and not a lot of time to get through it, well, chances are I'm not going to get through it because it's a big long to-do list. But like setting realistic expectations and goals and things like that. So yeah, I'm just really excited to go into 2025 as like this version of myself, specifically having like planted seeds of living my most authentic self, because I haven't really done that in the past because I've been so afraid of the world and what people are thinking of me. Honestly, wow, I'm literally like sweating right now. I feel like it's just sharing this is, it's like, it can be hard to be yourself and be authentic, and the world is going to challenge that. And slowly over time, I feel like we can plant seeds of allowing ourselves to do that and having the freedom to do that and feeling like if we do be ourselves, we're going to be safe. Like nothing bad is going to happen. And if something like quote unquote bad does happen, I personally believe that everything is always working in my favor. And that's because God is like, God's will be, and God's will is for things to be good. And so even if like something quote unquote bad happens, God will make it good. He will use it for good. And so having like feeling very rooted in that belief, I felt so free to express myself and pursue the things that I'm excited about, which is medicine and Star Sisters and sharing these Farmasi products and like just sharing more of myself with the world, because I've always felt I have such a big energy, and I have like shared more of myself with like the world on social media in the past too, like growing up and several years ago. And it's never been in an intentional way. It's never been in a way that I'm proud of or excited to share. And now it finally feels like I'm doing it in a way that I'm proud of. I'm doing it in a way that I am intentionally sharing my light to hopefully shine a light on other people in order to inspire them to share their light and so on. So yeah, long story short, I'm really excited for 2025 and just what it will bring. And I know, like, especially my surgery rotation, with how busy it's going to be, it's going to bring a lot of lessons, which I'm like, I'm going to start my gratitude practice again this weekend, which my gratitude practice is just writing down 5 things that I'm grateful for every night before I go to bed. And it helps so much. And so I'm going to start that this weekend again and be consistent with that throughout this rotation. And yeah, this rotation is only temporary, so I'll be fine. Anyway, before I keep rambling on, I'm going to just go ahead and end that there. I'm so excited for 2025. And okay, so the Farmasi products that I use today are the mascara. So I use the Double Lash Extend mascara. I used the Farmasi eyebrow gel, so this just little eyebrow gel. And if you're like picky about your wands for mascara, this is the wand. Yeah, just kind of like a standard wand, though I'm not super familiar with makeup, so I don't know. Anyway, those are the Farmasi products. And then I also used this face oil, Collagen Booster Face Oil by Anima Mundi. It's obviously not Farmasi, but I really love it. In addition, I also love the Farmasi face oil. I love a lot of face oils. And then I just used my little gua sha earlier to get my blood and lymph flowing. And then lastly, I used this Burt's Bees lip shimmer. I got in my stocking. I haven't used Burt's Bees in like many years, since I was a kid, but I really like it. So anyway, that's all for today. If you'd like to connect with me, I'd love to hear from you. You can go find me on Instagram at Kate Genty. It's just my name, and send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you. And also, if you're interested in trying any of the Farmasi products, you can go to farmacyus.com/Kate Genty. The link will be in the description, the show notes, the description, I don't know what it's called. yeah, and you can browse there, or if you have any questions about the products, you can ask me and I will do my best to answer. I haven't tried a ton of things, but I did order another box and it is coming on Sunday, I think. So maybe next YouTube video I'll have more products to share. I'm really excited. Anyway, that's all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!